Welcome to my channel for this explainer. You know, if you look around right now, it is absolutely wild how obsessed our culture is with the whole overnight success thing. We are constantly sold this dream of instant wealth, instant fitness, instant results. But what if I told you the real secret to hitting your biggest goals isn't some massive overnight overhaul, but actually something remarkably subtle?
Seriously, we've got to stop falling for this frustrating myth of the overnight success. We see this idea of a massive, sudden breakthrough, but let's be real, it almost never happens, and chasing it just leaves us feeling paralyzed. The accessible reality, the stuff that actually works, it's just getting 1% better every single day. You don't need to completely transform your life by tomorrow. You just need the discipline to take one tiny little step today.
So, to help us totally dismantle that instant success myth, here's our roadmap. We're going to cover, first, the 1% philosophy. 2, why we really need to stop chasing instant results. 3, how small habits actually equal big changes. 4, choosing progress over perfection. 5, why consistency always beats intensity. And finally, number 6, how to change who you become. It's a really clear, step-by-step plan to basically implement this 1% rule right into your life today.
All right, let's dive right into Section 1, the 1% philosophy. We're talking small improvements that lead to extraordinary results.
Look, so many of us dream of completely changing our lives, right? But we fall into this massive trap where we think the change has to be, well, dramatic. But the hidden magic to breaking that paralysis, it's literally just 1%. You absolutely do not need to be perfect. You just need to focus on becoming a tiny fraction better than you were yesterday. It's amazing because it totally just strips away all that overwhelming pressure of tackling a massive goal all at once. Moving on to Section 2, stop chasing instant results, and you guessed it, trust the process. Okay, so we live in this world of fast food, fast internet, fast deliveries. So naturally, we subconsciously expect our personal growth to be fast too. But real, meaningful growth, it takes time. Think about planting a seed. On day 1, literally nothing appears to be happening. Even by day 30, the roots are just growing completely invisibly beneath the surface. Your real progress is happening quietly, long before it finally breaks ground at year 1. And there's this really powerful idea I want you to remember. The foundation is built before the beautiful parts appear. I mean, think about it. Every single workout, every page you sit down to read, every minute you spend practicing, you are laying down a necessary structural foundation. A house just cannot stand without it. You really have to trust the process here.
Which brings us to Section 3, small habits, big changes. This is all about the crazy power of compounding actions. Basically, our lives are shaped by what we do repeatedly, not just what we do occasionally. Think of how this habit loop works. It's honestly a lot like water dripping onto a solid rock. Just one single drop of action, it does absolutely nothing. But consistent drops, they create momentum, and eventually, that becomes an automatic habit. Given enough time, and those tiny little drops are going to yield extraordinary results. They can literally shape solid stone.
All right, let's look at Section 4, progress over perfection, why action cures stagnation.
You know, one of the absolute biggest obstacles to any kind of personal growth is perfectionism. We sit around waiting for the perfect conditions, which, let's be honest, is really just a fancy excuse to procrastinate. But think about a little kid learning how to walk. They don't just quit because their first steps aren't perfectly graceful. They fall down, they lose their balance over and over again. Because true growth, it comes from repeated effort, not perfect effort.
And please remember this, missing one day is not failure. Giving up is failure. If you break your routine or make a mistake, do not assume you've completely blown the whole thing. You don't need a flawless streak. You just need the resilience to keep coming back after a bad day. Like we said, action cures stagnation.
Now for Section 5, consistency beats intensity. This right here is the secret to long-term success.
So many of us think that success comes from these massive, extreme bursts of effort. And yeah, working out for 5 hours in one single day sounds incredibly impressive. But if you do absolutely nothing for the next 2 weeks because you were completely exhausted, well, you're not going to see any results. Massive, sporadic bursts almost always lead straight to burnout. But on the flip side, a quiet, simple 30 minutes every single day, that builds steady, practically unstoppable momentum.
Consistency is the real winner every time, mostly because it totally removes that unrealistic pressure to perform perfectly
every single day. It gives you the grace to show up even on your super low energy days. And honestly, most importantly, it builds incredible self-trust. It creates totally predictable progress and prevents that overwhelming burnout. Every single time you follow through, you are literally proving to yourself that your word actually matters.
Finally, let's tackle Section 6. Change who you become. This is all about shaping your identity.
The ultimate payoff of the 1% rule isn't actually just about crossing some specific goal off of a list. It's about fundamentally rewriting who you are as a person. Every single daily action aligns with a new identity. Reading 10 pages a day, that tells your brain, hey, I'm a reader. Exercising for 20 minutes, that tells your brain, I'm a healthy person. Every tiny action is literally a vote for the type of person you wish to be, until making those positive choices just becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth.
Which brings us to our final and probably the most important question of this whole explainer. Where are your habits taking you? Your daily choices, no matter how small they seem, are compounding right now as we speak. So I want you to take a really hard look at your routine today and ask yourself, are your current 1% daily actions moving you toward, or are they pulling you away from the person you truly want to become?